it's Jael.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for inviting me.
So, can you introduce by yourself?
Yes, my name is Jael Norbegazolai. I am a teacher here at IPC since 2017-18. I teach Danish, I teach choir, Move for Joy, a movement class, and I teach music and culture. And I also am a folk high school teacher with all the other responsibilities that it entails.
Yeah. How about karate?
Oh yeah, I also have done a lot of karate in my life. I have done it for 10 years. I visited Japan 2 times, and it's been one of my most deep and important experiences, and I also had a lot of fun.
Yeah, your dance is so cool.
Thank you so much. I love it.
So, first question. What is your favorite color and why?
It changes. I have color periods. I'm not comparing myself to Picasso, but sometimes it's red, sometimes it's blue, sometimes it's green. But I just in general like strong colors. You know, in Denmark everything is usually a little bit more muted, a little bit more delicate, but I just like strong blue and strong red and strong green. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, what did you love to do as a child?
As a child, actually, my dream was to be a singer, like on stage, and a writer. Yeah, so singer or writer. And then sometimes I also thought about being a teacher. So, yeah, teaching is great, but it's different than what I imagined. It's also more than what I imagined. So it's more interesting than I thought. And singing is also great, but it's also being like a big star on the stage. I realized, maybe that's not for everyone, and you know. So I enjoy much more to sing and play music together. That's what I enjoy when you can feel that togetherness and enjoy the music as well. Yeah. Writing, haven't done it yet. Only a little. Not just when I was a kid, like 14 years old, writing stuff, fantasy, these kind of things. Yeah.
So, what did you want to be when you were younger?
That was it. Singing, or writing, being a writer, or being a teacher. Yeah. I misunderstood the second question, maybe. No. Oh, what did you do as a child? Okay. As a child, I grew up in Silkeborg, which is a smaller town in Jylland, 50,000 people. Very beautiful nature there. I went to a public school, normal school, which was tough because I always felt a little bit different there. But slowly it became better because I got to go to a folk high school when I was 19. But the school was not an amazing experience for me, to say it mildly, to put it mildly. But there were many other things that I enjoyed a lot, like being in nature, being with my family, and traveling. I was so privileged that my parents could take me traveling. So that was huge experiences for me. And then I played a lot of piano. I love to be in nature also. And I read so many books. I was always reading books, and I was already reading like fantasy and these kind of stories about knights and kings and queens and magic and Lord of the Rings, Narnia, all of these like magical stories. I liked very much. Yeah.
So when you think of your education, how do you feel?
Of my education, like my own story of education. It's interesting because I always loved learning. So I guess I was a very nerdy and geeky child. I loved learning in books. I loved reading and just absorbing a lot of facts. And And when I came to school, I was like, yes, teach me. But I think I think Danish education was okay. It was very, to me at least, as someone who did not struggle a lot, it was quite a safe space. But very possible that it was not for others, because there's also, the school that I went to was, one thing is how they teach, another thing is what what ambience or what vibe or what, how can you say, kind of the feeling they created in the classroom. That feeling was not very good. There were many reasons for it, but there was always I think it was not like there was a teacher, because if you go back, also in Danish history, we have something we call the black school, where teachers would punish or shame you or make fun of you, like you didn't understand this, ha ha ha, let's all laugh at this person. It was not like that at all, right? And it was not like that everywhere, but it was more common. So we changed a lot in Denmark to go away from that. So that was maybe 70 years ago, right? So I didn't expect, I didn't have, of course, any of that. I went to school in the 80s, it was very different. But there could still be an unsafe feeling from just the feeling in the classroom, just the kids who were there, and the teachers who failed to change that dynamic in the classroom. I'm not blaming them. I know they had a hard job. I know what it's like to be a teacher, and it was just a difficult time and place. But I feel a resentment towards the grown-ups that they didn't do anything to make it safe for everyone to be in this classroom. And I still struggle with there was bullying, there was feeling of unsafety in the classroom, that you could be made fun of, and this, not by the teacher, but by, it's difficult. Am I making sense? Yeah. So it's and then when I got to high school, it became much better. Because in high school, that's more something you choose. You want to be there. It's not like you were forced to be there. You more or less want to be there. And I thought it was very inspiring. I was learning a lot. But of course, there was also still not the safest. I mean, there was safer, but not the safest community I've been in. But then I came to a folk high school. And that was completely game changer for me. Yeah, being able to be safe in an environment and to be part of the community and feel like, you can be loved and seen and understood, and at least you can also be. Nobody will you can be allowed to be yourself. Not that people necessarily understand you, but they don't come to you and say, why are you like this? They leave you alone in a way. And that for me was a huge step. And then later on, I came to even better situations, like when I studied musicology in university. I think what got me through it was the community. I was very lucky. It was a very good year. People were very, very supportive. And we had good study groups and lit bands and, did things. So even though there was a lot of it that I found very challenging, it was not at all my comfort zone, with all the music theory and learning hardcore music history and theory was not where I felt I was very strong, but a lot of people helped me, and then I could help them with something else. So there was a lot of support, and that support from the other people was what got us through it. So yeah, I've experienced education in many ways, and but I think maybe musicology in Aarhus was the best.
So, how do you think people should feel in a classroom?
Number one, safe. They should feel safe. They should feel like they can make mistakes, because that's a hard thing for me in IPC, that I think for all teachers, that many people me included, have an experience of not feeling safe in a classroom or in a place where maybe they want you to answer questions, but you're so afraid of saying something not just wrong, but sounding ridiculous or something. So you're really scared of that, and I would love to learn more about how to create a classroom where everybody feels safe, because one thing as a teacher, you can be very accommodating, and you can be very empathetic and trying to rephrase and just always encourage and be very but there's a lot of dynamics that coming in from the outside, from the students, that sometimes you just don't know anything about it. So it's really about trying to feel the vibe, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes I leave the classroom and I think, I have no idea what just happened. I don't know why nobody said anything. I just have to probably, hopefully, think it didn't have directly to do with me, but there was something going on. You can try and ask, but it's not always the time or the place. And so, but yeah, the short question is I want everyone to feel safe, because I really do believe that that's the way we can learn. And that is the way we can become creative in our thinking also. So when I say creative, I don't just mean like singing or painting, but kind of being a collective mind of brains that can come to a new place, right? So also in university, I think I was also part of this because I didn't really know that it could be different, that you were sometimes competing a lot, and you want to say something more clever than what the other one just said, right? But that doesn't really necessarily create more knowledge. It just affirms the knowledge that you already have and makes you feel good, but you don't really progress. So I think that collectively we can ideally progress together, and it's always it's not just in the classroom, it's also when you talk to people, and I do it myself. You always have to check it yourself because it's very human, it's very human, and I've done it myself a lot, and it's something that I just wish that we were better at it in society. I wish we were better at it, and I do believe we can be better at it, but to just be curious and to say, but hey, maybe, what about if we thought about it this way? And then someone said, no, I don't think so, but, so slowly kind of creating more knowledge. Yeah, long story, sorry. Yeah.
Fascinating. So what is the point of education?
Education. We were talking about it today because we were talking education and Bildung, which is a German word that has come into English from German philosophers in the 19th century. And so Bildung is like we talked about education is transferable knowledge, something you can read in a book, and then there's a teacher, and you can ask the teacher questions, and then they can transfer. Maybe you can learn what was in the book, but there's also the untransferable knowledge that is Bildung, that is more something you have to experience. Yeah. And in the 19th century, for example, it was a lot of philosophers and writers who went out. For example, they started traveling, right? They say, maybe I can learn something in Germany that I didn't know. And then when I mean learn, it's about yourself also. How do I react in this situation? Or I can seek advice from someone, and then I can come back, and then I will be wiser. So the question is, what kind of education are we talking about? Like the Bildung part or the education part? Because I guess the point of education for me, because I love both. It's like I love getting really nerdy and being, with like academic texts and books and trying to learn and, just, get a lot of, like a sponge, get a lot of knowledge in and analyzing it. But I also love the other part. Ideally a combination, but it depends on the person. I think the point of education, of course, it's learning. And I guess I was sometimes in my own bubble, but here I've increasingly learned that we can also use it to make a better world. So that's something I have to, connect sometimes. I forget about it. Yeah.
So what makes your heart sing? What makes your heart happy?
What makes my heart sing? It's a connection to other people. It is just, yeah. And it's something I only recently realized through movement and through there is one of the people who had taken part in the IFE, the International Folkemøde People's Meeting for Educators, happening right now this week. And he did something called, he was teaching us a little workshop through a method called, what is it? It was something, was it radical connection or something? Authentic relating. Authentic relating, that was the word, yeah. Where you use eye contact and you use your spontaneous expression of feelings and sharing knowledge in a very intimate way that, when I mean intimate, I mean you're sitting just across from a person that you didn't know before and looking inside their eyes and maintaining eye contact for a time. In the beginning it feels like really scary, and then it kind of go back, and I could just feel how I was really tired and had dark thoughts before this workshop today for other reasons, things happening in my life. But after that, I feel like, oh, I have like maybe now 20-25% energy. I can build on that. I'm better now. And other things, I mean, music, going to a concert and just hearing sublime, like amazing music is really something special for me. I love traveling. It's one of, I mean, I think if I had money and there was no global warming, I would travel all the time as much as I could, right? Because again, I think it's just so exciting. It feels like being on an adventure and learning new things and imagining, and so yeah, I like that very, very much.
Good.
Yeah.
Last question.
Yes.
How has IPC changed, affected you?
Ooh, wow, many ways. In the first thing I can think about is it has given me much more confidence. Yeah, because I tried things that were scary for me. Doing morning fellowship, playing piano in front of 120 people who were expecting something from me that I was not sure that I could give. I didn't know, teaching, being in the classroom, being a what we call a family tree teacher. So you're the contact person for 10 to 11 young people. I still feel like I'm a newbie, but I feel like I was slowly learning, and I've been included in this community, and people want to hear my thoughts about things. So I start to believe in myself and think maybe I can be a grown-up. Maybe I can, become a more confident version of myself. But it has also changed a lot because I was in the field of aesthetics and music, and always working with with people who are interested in that thing, like art and artists. So not so much about social development of society. So this is new for me. Yeah, and I'm learning a lot. Learning to how you can bring change to community. And so now I think also inspired by this meeting, my new challenge is to think, how can I even more, or in a more conscious way, combine what I know and what I love from the music part with this social change thing that is kind of new to me. So that is because of IPC. Yeah, and also, I learned also, it also gives you a feeling, talking to everybody, that the world is bigger. I traveled to Vietnam in January and February and met people from IPC, 5-6 people who gave me so much. I mean, I'd never expected, this kind of, feeling of, what is it you call, like hospitality and wanting to see me. So that was amazing for me. So many things. Yeah.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank
Today
you.
was Yael.
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you so much.